biggest challenges for businesses today is migration from aging storage systems to new technologies. In this video, I will show you how easy it is to migrate volumes from an HPE 3PAR storage system to the new HPE GreenLake for block storage. To start off, let me show you the current storage situation. I have simulated a customer environment that is running applications on a Windows server. These applications have been taking their storage from an HPE 3PAR system for, say, the last 5 years. From Windows Explorer, you see 3 volumes in use with drive letters E, F, and G. In a data modernization effort, the customer wants to migrate these 3 volumes to his new HPE GreenLake for block storage system. From a physical standpoint, this is the hardware layout we are using in this video. On the left, you see a legacy HPE 3PAR 8000 system where the volumes reside that we want to migrate. Shown on the right is the HPE GreenLake for block storage system that will be the destination for these volumes. The data is transferred between the 2 systems over a pair of dedicated fiber channel paths called the peer links. You can configure up to 8 peer links to speed up your data transfer. The peer links start out from the HPE 3PAR source system on standard host ports. Using the HPE SSMC, I found ports 023 and 124 to be suitable host ports for use in this video. The peer links end on the new HPE GreenLake for block storage system in the so-called peer ports. To create those peer ports, I will now log on to the user interface or UI of the HPE GreenLake for block storage system. Note that for the moment, no SAN zoning is in place for the peer links. The UI will flag us later when to create and enable the zoning for peer motion. I am now logged on to the HPE GreenLake for block storage UI. To execute a migration, select the storage button from the left pane and click the peer motion tile near the bottom of the screen. To create a peer motion configuration, click the add sign at the top right. You will be prompted to create first the peer ports on the HPE GreenLake for block storage system. To do this, click the Configure Ports button. For this demo, I'll choose ports 033 on controller node 0 and 134 on controller node 1 to become peer ports. To change the ports into peer mode, I need to disable them first. From the ports list, we see that port 033 is now in peer mode, as well as port 134. Now that we have the peer ports created, let us configure the peer links. For this, click the storage button in the left pane, and next click the peer motion tile. Now click the add button on the top right to define a new peer motion configuration. Fill out the source system's name or IP and credentials for it that have the super role. If you have a certificate for secure communication, you can paste it in now. With all info filled out, click the attach button at the bottom. After a few seconds, a new screen appears with a tile having the name of your source system. The tile is currently in degraded mode because no peer links are connected at this moment. To create the peer links, click the tile for the source system. I get once more the message that the setup is degraded. But do not worry, this is again because the SAN zones for the peer links do not exist yet. I also see that the host ports on the source HPE 3PAR system are not the ones I had in mind. To change these, click the Zoning Assistance in the Actions pane on the right. On the Zoning Assistance screen, click the small cross button about in the center. Next, click the Add button for port. Fill out the correct host ports for the source HPE 3PAR and add again the peer ports already configured. When done, click the Add button. With the host ports fixed now, I see the list of worldwide names that need to go into the SAN zones for the peer links. Each peer link zone contains one host port on the source system and one physical and 8 virtual peer ports on the destination. These virtual peer ports aid in the online migration of Windows and Linux clusters. It is preferred that each zone be created in a separate SAN fabric. With the worldwide name information on screen, now go to your SAN switches and create the peer link zones. When the SAN zoning is finished, scroll down a bit and click the Submit button to have HPE GreenLake for Block Storage OS create for you the virtual peer ports and set up the peer links. You now return to the peer motion configuration screen and you will see the lines for the down peer links gradually disappear. Be patient, this can take a few minutes for all links to become active. The peer link topology screen now turned to the green normal status. We are ready to start the migration. Let's now kick off the migration. To this end, I click the Start Migration button in the Actions pane on the peer motion topology screen. A wizard opens up, taking me through the steps for defining the migration details. Fill out a name for the migration. The source system is predefined. Next, select the type of source object you want to migrate. You can migrate individual volumes, volume sets, hosts, or host sets. I go for a volume set that holds the 3 volumes on our HPE 3PAR source system. To select that volume set, click the Add button next to Volumes. In the pop-up on the right, I select this volume set and click the Add button. Scrolling down a bit, the landing CPG for the migrating volumes on the destination system is pre-filled, but you can change it by clicking the inverted triangle. I go with the defaults for the advanced options, and I'm now ready to start the migration. You may be wondering why I didn't have to choose the migration mode. That is because the peer motion software will determine by itself if the migration can be executed online with minimal disruption or offline. Clicking the Start button kicks off the actual data transfer. Having clicked the Start button, you now return to the peer motion topology page. From here, you can observe the migration process from the advancing slide bar below the topology graphic. As you see, the migration gets suspended at a 7% mark with the message to perform a rescan of the SCSI buses on the host or hosts under migration. This action is required because the host needs to discover the new HPE GreenLake for block storage system. I am now on the Windows host to execute that rescan. I open Disk Manager and rescan all the disks. This will take only a few seconds. Once the rescan is completed, you resume the migration from the HPE GreenLake for block storage UI. For Linux and VMware, a similar rescan request will appear. Use the appropriate tool on each operating system to execute this rescan. We're now back on the peer motion topology page in the HPE GreenLake for block storage UI. To proceed, click on the Details link. Next, click on the Resume Migration button in the Actions panel on the top right. And click the Resume button to confirm your intention to resume the migration. The migration now continues with its progress bar advancing. When the migration is completed, you see a summary of what has been transferred to HPE GreenLake for block storage. Clicking the View Volumes link shows more information about the volumes migrated. Each volume tile can be clicked for even more information. You can now revisit the Windows host and verify your applications are indeed running on the new HPE GreenLake for block storage. I now return to the peer motion topology page, and this concludes the demo. You saw how easy it is to migrate HPE 3PAR volumes to HPE GreenLake for block storage. I encourage you to check out the HPE GreenLake for block storage UI user guide for more details on migrations from HPE 3PAR to HPE GreenLake for block storage. Scan the QR code on screen to open the HPE GreenLake for block storage UI user guide. And thanks a lot for watching this video.